Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Chalk Talk here in the DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers YouTube channel. Chris Halicke here. We're going over Week 4 of Aaron Rodgers' 2024 season with the Jets. Not as many, same as last time, not as many plays from the game, especially there were 51 dropbacks in this game, so we're looking at literally 10 plays, and we're hoping that can encompass what this game was, and it was a lot of just ugly football across the board. The final score of the game was 10-9, Broncos winning, knocking the Jets down to 2-2. Bo Nix for the Broncos was 12 of 25 for 60 yards and a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers was 24 of 42, so not a high completion percentage for 225 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. If you look at, like PFF grades, stuff like that, remember PFF's grade, like if you do nothing, it's a 60. They gave him a 68.7. His passing grade was 68.2, which is slightly, so his overall grade was 68.7. That was slightly better than the grade they gave him for the Tennessee game. And after really watching this game, I really felt that this was probably his worst game. Now, trying to be as fair as possible, the weather for this game was absolutely terrible. You can even kind of see, like, from the All-22, you get like raindrops right here, like falling and stuff. So this was not a pretty game whatsoever. Rodgers didn't use it as an excuse. He did get injured late in the game, hamstring on the same leg that he had his Achilles injury. But he talked about the Jets had 13 penalties, and he was talking about we were kind of killing ourselves, but said I can't say I had a spectacular game. I missed some throws. The weather sucked, but so did some of my throws, and it was definitely there. Really quick before, again, we dive into the plays, looking at his passing chart for this game, quick game stuff, everything under 10 yards, he was, 4-5, 7-11, then 1 of 2, so he completed, 4, 7, 12 out of 18, so not too bad. Behind the line of scrimmage, he completed 6 of 8, but the intermediate passing, he was, 3 of 8. That's not great. And then beyond 20 yards, he completed just 3 out of 6. Again, not overly great. Not great when it came to anything further downfield. He was credited with 3 big-time throws in this game and no turnover-worthy plays by PFF. So, but I'd say all of that to say, this was just an ugly football game altogether. Across the board, the Jets did not run the football whatsoever, not only in terms of how often they ran the ball, which was almost never, but they weren't efficient at it either. They only ran the ball 23 times as opposed to 51 dropbacks and only got 64 yards on the ground. That's 2.8 yards per carry. You're in this kind of weather, you're asking Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball 51 times. That ain't going to fly, man. That's just a bad game plan. So, anyway, let's go into it. And you get, okay. I almost want to say, and I remember pulling this up, I almost want to say that maybe Rodgers is looking at Lazard here, but he does it so quick that I don't even think he's really looking at Lazard. He's almost trying to look and see if he can get a safety to move over here or something. Because watch how fast Rodgers actually looks in that direction, then looks back to this side of the formation, which is going to have these 2 double moves by the number 1 and the number 2 on that side. Watch Rodgers' head as he looks in this direction and then looks really quickly back in that direction. I almost don't think of that as I'm actually Lazard is the number 1 read there. Because if he is, this ball needs to be thrown. It's open. There's enough separation. And by the time Lazard even gets sets down on that curl, Rodgers is already looking in this direction. That's what's making me think maybe he's doing this to sell this to get these two defenders here to think that possibly this is just like a hold, like all curls, maybe, like that's just the concept. And then you get, these double moves here. It doesn't work because the Broncos are also rushing 6, and you have this guy is a complete free runner. And by the time Rodgers even decides to even try to even want to throw this guy's going to get to him, and it's all over by then. So I don't like the play design. If that's exactly what it is, I don't like it. It takes too long to develop. And this offensive line has done very, very little to show me, as somebody who does not work in the game, like as a coach or a scout or anything like that. I don't trust this group to protect the quarterback on a consistent basis. I just don't. They're not good in run blocking. They have not been a good rushing team in the first 3 games. And, pass protection here, you get to this point right here where you got, you got that matchup right there. Then I believe 93 stunts around to this side as 40 also rushes that or attacks that gap, attacks the B gap there right here. And whenever this guy stunts into the B gap, nothing is passed off between these 3 guys. He stunts. This guy isn't able to pass him to here so that he can then come around and pick that up. Either way, this guy's not picked up. And this guy's also running or also blitzing, so Breece Hall has to step up and take him out. You still have a free runner here. Even though it is, let's see, you have 6 blitzers. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, 7. So this is a heavy, heavy pressure. So you're outnumbered because you only got 6 in protection. It's just, it doesn't work. It does not work. Not a great play. That was Aaron Rodgers' first drop back, by the way. One thing about Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to go into this more in tomorrow's Chalk Talk. I've already watched that game in its entirety. This is actually the first game I watched before I even decided to do this entire series. After watching this game, watching the Vikings game, which are back-to-back weeks, I have to say that Rodgers clearly, and I have it illustrated later here in this set of plays, Rodgers gets rattled as he's dealing with pressure. And you can see it later on in this game. If he is getting attacked early and he's having to be on the run, he's getting hit, he's having to scramble, he doesn't really get a chance to get into rhythm, it's definitely affects his game, and he looks rattled. He may not, if you ever ask him, he's like, no, I'm not rattled or anything like that. He may say, I'm just going off of what the film shows me. And this play right here, if it's the play that I think it is, back foot right here, maybe you should hit this kind of curl to the middle here. We'll see it from the end zone angle. If he throws that ball with anticipation, there is a good enough pocket there. He could possibly hit that. He doesn't. And again, now there's absolutely no chance that he can see anything else. So he's able to get out, he's able to scramble, and he tries to hit, Conklin right there, and it ends up not being completed. But you can really see Rodgers, and this is still early in the game, so this isn't really the illustration that I'm talking about. You'll see it later in the game, but Rodgers, he gets to the back foot there. And it does look like he's looking like as he's anticipating Wilson to get here and sit down. And if that's the case, like he is looking there, you got to, in my opinion, you have to throw that. You have to throw it with anticipation and anticipate that he's going to be there. Maybe he doesn't trust him to be there. We've seen it through the first 3 games. there's been a disconnect between the two. Last game, Aaron Rodgers was overly efficient, completed nearly 80% of his passes, but he threw the ball to Garrett Wilson 9 times in that game and only completed 5 of them. They have not been on the same page throughout the season thus far. And so maybe he just doesn't trust it yet. I don't know. Usually if there's that kind of disconnect, there's both guys who are at fault. There's some blame to go on both sides. But this ball does not get thrown, and meanwhile, this guy ends up losing pretty quickly and even kind of getting away with a little bit of a hold there. Oh, God, dude, how is that not holding? Lord. But, Rodgers, again, he scrambles, he gets out, and he still takes a hit. He's still going to the ground. It wears on him, and you can see it later on. This play here, Rodgers drops back. Yeah, this is the play I'm talking about. The posture that he gets in, because, number one, the left tackle loses immediately. But even then, this area right here, it just gets pushed in this direction so quickly. And you can see Rodgers' back foot, it's almost like his back foot doesn't even hit first. This left foot does this little, his left foot hits before his back foot would normally hit. And that is every sign of being uncomfortable. We've been going through these games. Rodgers' footwork, while it's his own and definitely not like anybody else's, the 3-step drop, 5-step drop are still 3-step drops and 5-step drops where the back foot hits, not where this left foot literally hits twice in a row. 1, 2, before his back foot hits. That is every indication of I'm uncomfortable. And when you see this blitz and how much the Jets offensive line is struggling with it, and then he ends up getting sacked, it almost doesn't matter what's going on here with Wilson running this or Lazard, what's he running? Lazard runs this high cross. It almost doesn't even matter. Right? I mean, now, I'm not saying that this is not Rodgers' fault. Maybe he should just trust his offensive line. Again, not trying to find blame here, but you can definitely see there is a lack of comfort. And again, this is later in the game. I think this is second quarter. First drop back, he gets sacked, and other dropbacks, he's been getting pressured and everything. You could see it. His eyes go down to the pressure. Anytime you get this where he is obviously looking straight at the pressure, the play is pretty much shot at that point. Unless he can somehow get out and try to improvise something along those lines, the play is pretty much shot. We saw that all the time with Kenny Pickett. Now, this is not typical Aaron Rodgers. So, what was it? Again, is it just lack of trust in this unit? Is it him not feeling comfortable yet in his recovery from his Achilles? I understand he's back, he's on the field, he's been playing, but you hear from athletes all the time, these injuries they take a long time to come back from. Is he not fully confident in his ability to stay healthy? Doesn't want to take hits? I don't know. I'm just going off of what the film's telling me. The film's telling me that this guy is getting rattled under pressure. Take that however you want. We're into the 4th game of the season. There's still a whole lot of football left to watch from this season. And that is very, very uncomfortable. Now, granted, this is what? A 5-man rush? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-man rush with how many in protection? 6? I mean, come on. I'm not going to sit here and try to break down the protection, but that's just basic math there. Again, these moves to the inside, This move to the inside, it eats up 75 there. That hurts. I mean, both this guy and this guy kind of do this move and then cut to the inside and then cut to the inside. Meanwhile, the linebacker comes swooping around this side, and I mean the tackle does nothing. I mean, he thinks that, I got to get this edge rusher. Meanwhile, this linebacker's swirling around, and that's the guy who ends up really getting to Rodgers, while also the left tackle completely takes an L. Like, this is just messy across the board. This is terrible. Terrible stuff. So, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Again, this is an ugly, ugly football game. This is not just Aaron Rodgers. This was the Jets across the board. I don't think this is Rodgers' best game, but this is also the Jets across the board. Back foot here. Let's see where Rodgers is looking. Looks like he's looking in this direction. Doesn't like it, whatever it is. Maybe he wanted to throw this. I don't know. But the one thing he does have is that he's scrambling. And again, we talk about lack of mobility, not as mobile as he used to be. If he sees all of this green grass right here, and by the way, I think you can see somewhere, this is third down. This is 3rd and 10. And Rodgers is still able. I mean, you see all that green grass. Be a smart scrambler. Go get it. He gained 14 yards on this one. Yeah, it was 3rd and 10 right here. 3rd and 10. 14 yards. I mean, if the defense literally gives you that, take it. Say thank you. Appreciate it. I mean, easy stuff. I mean, was a 4-man rush. Again, it's not often back foot. I don't like it, so I'm just going to get out of the pocket. But again, you got 4-man rush, and the 5 guys aren't holding it. They're just not. They're not holding down the fort. So Rodgers goes and gets it himself because that's what the Broncos gave to him. He can still move when he wants to. He's just not as mobile as he used to be, which that's very expected of somebody who's at this stage 40 years old as opposed to maybe even 30 years old. Next play, Rodgers back foot. Again, he gets into that immediate posture. Just doesn't trust anything that he's getting up front. Now, again, the Broncos have a very, very good defensive front. Very good, very strong. But this is still bad from the Jets. Rodgers gets out, and oh my, he has Allen Lazard wide open in the middle. What's Lazard running there? Lazard runs a quick little, kind of this little stick to the inside. And as soon as Rodgers scrambles out, Lazard does the smart thing, and he finds open grass. Turns around, gets his eyes to the quarterback. Rodgers finds him. That's a heck of a play. Heck of a play by Rodgers, and maybe even more so by Lazard. That's a heck of a play. Make yourself a target for the quarterback whenever he's scrambling out. Move the guy in motion. Usually means man coverage, not all the time. Broncos are really good at disguising this stuff. But you get a 4-man rush with, see how many are in protection? You got the tight end back there too. You get 6. Again, the guard here immediately takes an L. Immediately. Right tackle is getting shoved backward. Right into Rodgers' lap. And now Rodgers, again, it's back foot. And he's even looking at Lazard. We know where Lazard is. He's looking at Lazard, probably wants to throw that, doesn't feel comfortable with it, has to get out because there's just no comfort. He sees Lazard. Again, his eyes were already on Lazard. He sees Lazard start to cut this way. And then this is where Aaron Rodgers' arm talent takes over. He's able to then go back foot, throw across his body. This is definitely across his body. He is literally foot right there on the hash, and this ball ends up, I understand it doesn't end up going necessarily back in this direction, but his momentum is going 1,000% this way as he's throwing, and he gets that to go pretty much straight downfield to Lazard, who finds open grass. That's a heck of a play, again, by both Rodgers, but maybe even more so Lazard, by giving Rodgers a target whenever he's under duress. Heck of a throw there by Rodgers. Heck of a play there in general between those two. Next play, Rodgers drops back. This is the part of the game, and I think this is Lazard too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, that's 10. That's Lazard. This was the part of the game that kind of got me. Like, I understand, like, I'm going to pull those numbers back up again when it came to the quick game. 4-5 to short left, 7 out of 11 to short middle, and then 1 out of 2 to short right. I mean, that's a pretty high percentage, but it never looked good. A lot of this stuff looked good. Like, even the ones that he completed, sometimes they were just, everything looked a little slow coming out. Like, I don't know what it was. Not necessarily arm strength, but just, it, like, that looks like it's like, that's your typical, okay, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's dropping back, quick, 1, 2, 3, throw. It looked a little quicker, a little more like a well-oiled machine in the previous week against the Patriots. It just did. It looked better. He got into a rhythm, never got into a rhythm with this. And that, in turn, probably also just affected him overall. But again, it almost didn't matter if he was under pressure or not, because of, you saw the skittishness. Like, it affected him. It was like almost every time he dropped back, he didn't trust it. And just too much of this stuff in this game. That's why I put it in there. Just wasn't, the short game was not there in this one. I mean, even of all those passes that he completed, again, he completed, he threw 18 of them. He completed 12. So even then, that's not like that high of a number compared to, the week before. But that went for, let's see, 58, 88 yards. It's not great. It wasn't a good quick game for them. It just, everything looked, I'll play full motion, to the time that he releases it. It just looks slower to me. Maybe it's just me. It looks slow to me. Just a touch. I don't know. Just me. All right. Next play here. Rodgers again. You get the whole. Oh, this is good stuff. Moving to the right. Under pressure, throwing off the back foot. Nobody is open right now. When we talk about throwing against the blitz, trusting your guys to be in the right spot, where's the blitz coming from? This is like everybody who's up here is rushing. And this does look like man across the board here with like no banjo coverage. So if this guy's running a flat, and this is also Rodgers knowing what's coming, if this guy is covering him and he's running a flat, that means this guy's going to run to go cover him. And Lazard, I think that who's the number 2 right there, is running this quick little slant right there. So that's now going to open up. So Rodgers, he gets that look and completes it. And if this doesn't get tackled, that's a touchdown. This is a good play design. This is Rodgers knowing what the defense is showing. And this is complete cover zero. This is cover zero blitz across the board. You got how many guys blitzing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, you're going to have a free runner, bare minimum. And this is, again, knowing where's the free runner going to be coming from? So Rodgers knows, okay, I'm throwing in this direction. And this is kind of what we talk about when we talk about setting up pass protection as well. If you know all of these guys are coming and you've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, how do you do this? Well, you shift protection to the right, okay? Shift protection to the right, or maybe, actually, what you would probably do is something like this, like that, and then this guy, let me get a different color. This guy is just free, right? Something along those lines. That's what you're trying to do. But if you know that this guy is going to be coming free and rushing at you, if you can scooch over this way and then make your throw, knowing the kind of defense you're going to see, then you know that number 2 on the strong side, on the passing strength of the formation, is going to be open. So you just have to trust it. You have to trust your protection. You have to trust your receiver to be there. But this is also where having the smarts that come with playing 20 years in the league really plays a factor. Because that's exactly what happens. Actually, yeah, it's this guy. He's here. Running back comes up, gets him. I mean, all that's protected. This guy right here is the free runner. He's running after Rodgers. Rodgers is going to then roll to his right. You'd like to see this protected a little bit better, but it's good enough. He's got to throw off his back foot. Again, and again, it takes a big hit to make that play, and it's right on the money. I mean, this could have been a touchdown. If this guy doesn't get there, doesn't make the tackle, it is a touchdown. So, heck of a play there by Rodgers, and this is knowing what is happening. Understanding what's coming, getting into the right protection, knowing what play is happening. You see that it's man across. Every time it's cover 0, it's man. Man across the board, and then everybody else is blitzing. So if you know, that number 3 on the inside, when we talked about this, if this guy, I'll point it out again, is running this while you're running this, which is, by the way, dragon, but this is man coverage, right? Then he's going to run to this flat here while this guy is going to cover this slant. And if he doesn't take away and get inside leverage here, then it's going to be open. That's good stuff. It's good stuff. Good stuff from Rodgers, for sure. That's just experience playing a factor there. And also some pretty good arm strength and arm talent too, because he's got a dude in his lap, has to throw off his back foot, still puts it on the money. All right, next play here. Rodgers drop back. We're going deep to Mike Williams here on the sideline. Probably not the smartest throw in the world, because Broncos are in too deep here. Yep, they got cover 2 here. So you got this guy coming right here, and there's is this 2-man? Yeah, this is 2-man. The corners here are in man coverage. So you've got 2-man. So he's going to run with him, and then you got this safety over the top. And it's going to require one heck of a throw to get this completed, and one heck of an effort by the wide receiver. And that's exactly what you get. I mean, that is a perfect ball in the right spot. Safety makes a big hit, and it looks like it's incomplete. We'll show the sideline view too. I mean, this looks like it's incomplete from here to me, but, I mean, it apparently was initially ruled incomplete, but they did overturn it. So this was a completed pass. I think this final play here that I've got drawn up, again, Broncos are rushing 4 here, so they're not blitzing here. I remember why I wanted to show you this one. This almost isn't as much about Aaron Rodgers as it is about, like, this is what the Steelers would like to do. I do think they're going to blitz a little bit more this year, like in 2025. I do think they're going to play more man coverage, but this goes to show whenever you can drop 7 and still get home, like, that's ideal because you can get so many coverage sacks if you trust your front 4 to get home. Back foot there, Rodgers. I mean, that's not open. I mean, Lazard is not really open. This is not open. You could throw this, but it's not going to be really. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 out there with 7 in coverage, and there's nothing. What's he going to do? Is this on Rodgers? Is this on the scheme that's called? I don't know. But, I mean, there's nothing here. And then, again, they're rushing 4. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on 4, and you lose. Now, maybe don't try to, again, but, you know, you see this, and you just immediately think, oh, crap, I got to get out of here. And Rodgers probably tries to, but then, you know, Hall and the guard here, they can't take that one guy away. He gets there, sacks him. This is not a good game whatsoever. It was not Rodgers' best game. It was not the Jets' offensive line's best game. Rodgers was sacked 5 times, ended up getting his hamstring injured. It was a rough game across the board. I'm not making excuses for Rodgers. Again, I thought this was his worst game of the season. I really think that. I don't think it was a supremely awful game where you're just like, dude, Rodgers is the reason why they lost. Nothing like that. But he wasn't great. The offensive line was really bad. The weather didn't the weather didn't do any favors. But still, some really nice throws from Rodgers. You also got to see what experience, what that brings. And very few in the game are as good as Rodgers before the snap. Nobody beats Peyton Manning, but Rodgers before the snap, getting in the right protection, knowing what the defense knowing what the defense is in, how that particular play is going to be able to attack it. That's what Rodgers brings. And he's still got the ability to make some ridiculous throws. So, anyway, wrapping this up. Tomorrow, Vikings in London. It was ugly. I can tell you right now, I've already watched the game, but I'm going to go through it again. It was UGLY, and not even Rodgers had an alibi for that one. I don't think it was all on Rodgers. Again, I'll get to that. But, man, it was not good. Across the board, it was bad. Worse than this game. So look forward to that one. Catch you on the Flippity Flip. We'll see you later.